My name is Brian. I'm asking for your vote in 2026. You know, there's a non-zero chance that the United States is on a path to a civil war. That happens when a divided country, people start to think that the other side is going to start shooting. And it seems like we're getting to the point where people are starting to worry that the partisans on the red team and the blue team are starting to worry about the other side. Are they going to start shooting? Well, it doesn't have to be that way. There is a lot of reasonable, rational adults in this country who have no desire to see our nation torn apart. No national divorce, no civil war. Instead, we can come together to work things out. But I need your help. I need your vote in order to do that. To opt in to a more peaceful paradigm, I'm inviting you to join me and others around the country in a national fast for peace on Monday, September 15th. Now, this fast for peace comes from something that Gandhi did in India back in 1947. This was when the British, after ruling over the country for hundreds of years, finally turned it back over to the people. And as they did, they partitioned it off so that the one religion was a majority on the left side and the right side. The other religion was a majority in the center, kind of like America today with the red states and blue states. And so they hacked the country up into three pieces, which created an awful lot of problems, a lot of division. And so Gandhi challenged people. He said the 15th is the day of our trial. Observe a fast on that day. And he was in the city of Kolkata, which is the largest city, about the size of Boston today, the Boston area. And it was a place that had seen horrific religious riots the previous year, where thousands and thousands and thousands of people had been killed in the streets. More people died in one bloody weekend than died on September 11th. And so the city was on edge, and the city fathers asked Gandhi to stay and try and help keep things calm. And so he did. He called on the people to observe a fast on that day, and it worked. The city of Kolkata stayed calm, and a crisis was averted. However, the rest of the country was in turmoil, and before long, violence had spread out all over the place. You know, if you think about it today, we talk about red states and blue states as if they were some sort of monoliths, that everyone inside a geographic area was exactly the same. But of course, that's not true. Think about it. Think of even a red state like Wyoming. But yeah, 2/3 of the people there support the red team, but 1/3 support the blue team. And so if we had some sort of national divorce, where is 1/3 of the state supposed to just pack up and move to? This would be horribly, horribly problematic for anyone who gives it any thought. So Gandhi used this group fast as a way to give people a shared vision, a shared goal. And I ask you to join me and others around the country for a fast for peace on Monday, September 15th. If you share the goal of peace, of not seeing the United States tear itself apart. You know, here's the funny thing. Here's what Gandhi didn't know. The United States has a tradition of days of fasting. In fact, they started even before there was a United States. It was in 1773 that the British granted a monopoly to the East India Company and said they were the only ones who were going to be allowed to sell tea to the colony. Well, the framers were not fans of monopolies, and so they staged the Boston Tea Party, and they threw the equivalent of $2 million worth of tea into Boston Harbor. The British were upset, and so they announced there was going to be a blockade of Boston Harbor until the colonists paid back the cost of the tea. And so hundreds and hundreds of miles away in Virginia, Thomas Jefferson said, all right, what can we do about this? How do we stand in solidarity with the people of Massachusetts? And so he authored a resolution in the Virginia House calling for a day of fasting. And so that, to quote him, so the Parliament might be inspired by wisdom, moderation, and justice. And so on June 1st, 1774, Thomas Jefferson and George Washington and many other people in Virginia observed a day of fasting to stand in solidarity with the people of Boston. Now, in the United States today, there's lots of injustices across the country, but we're a big country. Like, it's not really practical for everyone to get into one place and have a big giant protest. So a fast is something that each individual can observe in their own house, their own community, at their own time and place of their choosing. But by all taking the same action at the same time, we can stand in solidarity with each other around a shared purpose. And together in 2026, we can inspire Congress to wisdom, moderation, and justice. We're also going to inspire them because, as a group of people, if you're willing to vote with me, we're going to refuse to hate the red team. We're going to refuse to hate the blue team. We're going to instead offer Congress an opportunity to do big transformational things for our country, to put our social contract back in order, to update it for the 21st century. Now, the fast itself is simple. Fasting means to willingly abstain from something for a period of time. So abstain from food for 24 hours, abstain from recreational intoxicants, and instead just drink water for a 24-hour period. I find it's easiest to do a dinner-to-dinner fast, have dinner on the night of the 14th, skip breakfast, skip lunch, just drinking water during the day, and then after 24 hours, have dinner on the night of the 15th. Fasting is safe and beneficial for the vast majority of adults. It's good for our physical health and our mental health. However, for some people, maybe if you're pregnant or nursing or given other medical conditions, it might be unsafe for you to just drink water for a 24-hour period. In that case, take a medical exemption. Gandhi suggested drinking juice, eating fruit, simple foods, what you need to make it through the 24 hours safely, observing the fast to the best of your abilities, but to do so safely. This fasting is voluntary, right? It's not starving. Instead, it's willingly giving something up for a period of time. And so, in this case, for the United States, I'm asking people to give up hate for a day. Be willing to work with members of the red team or the blue team who are willing to share in this self-sacrifice. Together, we're going to seize the moral authority to inspire Congress to wisdom, moderation, and justice. We can do this in 2026, but I need your vote. Now, to be clear, I am not a candidate for public office. Instead, in October 2026, I'll publish the Populist Fusion slate. It's going to be a list of endorsements for all 470 federal races. And when 3.5% of Americans agree to vote the Populist Fusion slate, we will have the power to control the outcome of the 2026 midterms, to decide whether Republicans stay in power, whether Democrats do, or we divide things down the middle. It'll be up to us. We will have the power. And so Congress will be inspired to enact transformational legislation before the election in exchange for our support. Peace is possible. If you are interested, please join us on the 15th. And make sure you like and subscribe so you can follow along with these updates. And remember, in 2026, vote with love, vote with power, vote with Brian.